It's game 82, the final regular season matchup of the year with a division title on the line, and the Devils head to D.C. to take on the Capitals. Check this out. They could end the night with the second best record in hockey. Well, Kristy Flannery of the Hockey Writers is on the line with us to talk some hashtag Let's Go Devs. Kristy, thanks for joining us. I mean, you've been covering this team all night, but they got a big one tonight. They've got a chance to win the Metropolitan Division if Florida can take some points away from Carolina. So I'm going to ask you, when the clock strikes 12 a.m. tonight, will the Devils have won the Met?
That is it's such an interesting question, because when you're at this point of the season, you see some teams that just roll right into the playoffs and some teams that struggle and kind of just fall into the playoffs. And Carolina's 4-5-1 in their last 10, so they aren't playing their best hockey at the moment. Whereas you have the Florida Panthers, who are 6-3-1 and really had to fight and claw their way into the playoffs. So looking at it just on paper, I would give the momentum to the Florida Panthers. But again, the Carolina Hurricanes have been a team that have really been at the top of the Metro all season long with the Devils, so you can't really count them out. It's going to be a really interesting game, because you have, it's going to be interesting to see, because these two teams are approaching the playoffs very differently as far as momentum goes.
Yeah, that game determines the seedings for the Devils. They could play the Rangers or the Panthers in the first round. So I'm asking you, who would you say is the better or more favorable matchup for the Devils, the Rangers or the Panthers?
It's the Rangers. It's the Rangers. I understand there's the idea that you don't want to see the really hot division matchups at the beginning of the Stanley Cup playoffs. You want to wait and see that in the Eastern Conference final. But when it comes to the matchup, and again, it doesn't even have anything to do with the regular season record, because that doesn't matter once the playoffs begin. But for me, Shesterkin, as good as he is, and he is phenomenal, he tends to struggle against New Jersey. And I think on that point alone, when you have one of the hottest goaltenders in the league, one of the best up-and-coming goaltenders, and you see that he struggles against that team, why would you not want that matchup? Because everyone knows once the postseason begins, the hot goaltender can really carry a team. I don't know if Shesterkin can get that through New Jersey. I think it's going to be really tough I think the Devils are going to be a really tough assignment for the Rangers. And I think if you ask people who cover the Rangers, they would probably say they don't want New Jersey.
Well, a Rangers-Devils matchup will keep us busy as media. So, just to have something on our calendar, I definitely want to see that matchup. But I want to talk to you about this team. The other night at the Rock was a special one. This team has tied the franchise win record. Jack Hughes breaks the points record. What would you say the difference in this year as opposed to the last decade?
It's so many things. I think it's really, you're seeing all the hard work that the organization has put in over the years, developing young talent, drafting young talent. It's blossoming. It's blossoming before our eyes. And really, the big thing is the team has depth this year, which other years they did not have. Even going into the postseason, there's questions of, is Sharon Govich going to have some time? Is Curtis Lazar going to have ice time? And having those options is just so massive when you go into the playoffs, because players say season after season, nobody's 100% when you enter the playoffs. So that's huge. They haven't really had any massive injuries this year, as opposed to last year when they went through 7 goaltenders. Vanacek, Blackwood, and Akira Schmidt have been, really steady throughout the season for them in the crease. And on top of that, you have guys that are having career years. You have Jack Hughes. Look what Dougie Hamilton's doing after having, a really tough year last season with injuries. Everything is coming together for this team at the right time. And because they're so young, the future is just so bright for Tom Fitzgerald's team.
Well, you're talking about guys having that career years, and you mentioned the hard work. I mean, this season could be the start of something special. So let's talk about the future of this franchise. Do you think that this organization can sustain this type of success?
I do. I think that the guys that they have locked in for the immediate future they're going to get this team to the next level. I really do. And I think that, Fitzgerald's proved, especially this past offseason when he missed out on Johnny Gaudreau, when he missed out on Alex DeBrincat, his team didn't need that. His team needed Andre Palat, Eric Holla, Brendan Smith, the guys that probably would have been an afterthought if you asked any fan in May who they wanted on this team. But he found the right pieces to really complement the team. And now he knows the recipe that is there for that team's success, because from last year to this season, it's day and night and what this team can do.
Day and night, and they've been one of the top teams in the NHL all season. So I need to keep it. I need you to keep it 100 with us. I'm gonna put you on the hot seat right now. Are the New Jersey Devils Stanley Cup contenders?
You know, my immediate instinct is once the playoffs begin, it's an entirely different animal. And once you're in, anyone can win. The only thing that I always think about is when you look at the former winners in Tampa and in Colorado, once they kind of turned that corner and became, the contenders that we now know them as, they all went through that really tough learning experience once they were in the playoffs. You saw with Tampa, they got eliminated by the Columbus Blue Jackets in the first round. They got swept a couple years ago, and then they made 3 straight Stanley Cup final appearances. So on one hand, I look at this team and I'm like, you know what? When they're on, they're one of the best of the best. When everything's jiving for this team, they are one of the best teams in the league. But there's also that when you look to build a long-term contender, which is what Fitzgerald's been looking to do, sometimes you have to go through those hard losses. And it just will make the team better from it. So I kind of go back and forth. Are they contenders? Could they actually win this year? Sure. Why not?
That easy. Okay, I'll take it. Well, they finish out their season tonight against the Capitals, 7 p.m. down in D.C. Kristy, it's been great all year having you join us, and I can't wait to talk to you in the playoffs.
Thank you. Thank you so much.